Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am medium Missy Tolly, and I'm your psychic medium and author. And today I really want to talk to you about how do you know your loved ones are trying to connect with you. So you're here for a reason, and if you're struggling to figure out the signs and symbols that your loved ones are carrying with you or trying to bring to you. I just want you to know that you are a unique person just as they were when they were here in the physical world. And even though that veil is very thin, that veil separates the living from the non living. And your loved ones are going to connect with you in what I call synchronicities, or you might call them coincidences. But there is no such thing as a coincidence. So let's kind of scratch that, right? I guess what I'm trying to say is your loved ones are going to connect with you in the best way that they can based on your relationship and their personality. So, for instance, my Aunt Sandy loved to collect M&Ms. So, after she passed, I have never had a dream visitation from her. I see her name all over the place, so I know it's her. But I'll go to the most random places where M&M vintage like antiques and things that are connected to M&Ms should not be in the place that I'm at, and there they are. So I really take that as a sign from my Aunt Sandy that she's around. And there is only one reason that your loved ones would really want to show you signs and symbols, and that's to let you know that they're okay and that they're watching over you. So I guess it's two things, but they just want you to know that they're okay and that you are being watched over and cared for from the other side. So I want you to know that all souls communicate on their own time frame. So let's say, for instance, someone you love, even pets included, pass away, and I get a lot of people like saying, "Hey, Missy, I haven't received a sign from like my mom yet, or my grandma, or my dad," and I'm like, "No, it's okay. Just breathe, take a moment." Be patient. Sometimes it can take a really long time. It could take weeks, months, and I've seen it in my own personal case where it's been years and I still have not had a dream visitation from my loved one. But the thing is if you're patient and you open up yourself to being able to receive those signs and symbols from your loved ones, and you're open to receiving those messages, you'll get them. Your loved ones right now, after they pass, what happens is they go through this like life review. And then they get to meet up with all of the loved ones that they are going to reunite with. So it does take them a little bit of time to kind of start throwing out to you psychically what you're going to sense. And what I mean by that is your loved ones are going to choose the signs and symbols that will best represent their personality and your relationship. And they're going to have fun with it. They're going to throw everything that they can at you. So, an example of this would be, let's say you had a loved one pass away and it's been a few days, and all of a sudden you start noticing, I don't know, 11:11, or you're waking up at the same time all the time. If you're noticing these things, then that's the signal that your loved ones are saying, hey, I'm trying to communicate. But it's for them, they have to learn this new way to communicate with us as we have to learn to communicate with them. It's all based on how open you are and how you acknowledge the symbolism that they're sending you. So spirit knows how you are going to psychically or intuitively sense them. And intuition is kind of that psychic voice or that intuitive voice inside your head. So have you ever had a thought that you thought was yours, but then you're like, no, wait a minute, was it? So these are your intuitive voices, and these are your loved ones trying to communicate through the veil to you. And if you're picking up on their signals, then guess what? They're going to send more and more signals your way. So we have to learn to communicate with them as they have to learn to communicate with us. It's just a learning scale, that's all. So if you're a very visual person, your loved one on the other side is going to send you visuals. Say you're an auditory person, then your loved ones are going to send you songs. Maybe it's a Taylor Swift song. Maybe it's not the artist. Maybe it's the particular song that several different artists can can sing, right? Like Over the Rainbow. How many versions of Over the Rainbow have you heard? And if that's a symbol for your loved ones to come through, then guess what? Here it is. It's verbally being presented to you that, hey, guess what? You are here for a reason and you're ready to receive the signals from your loved ones that you're okay, that they're okay, and you're being watched over. So you're probably asking me, like, well, when do they send the signs? Like, how fast can they send them? They can send them right away. I've had a personal experience where I had a loved one where their name was brought up to me within 2 hours of their passing. 2 hours, okay? And I guess the way I can describe it to you is that just knowing that your loved ones are going to send you the signs that they're okay is an important gesture that you can kind of, um, I guess, make a deal with them before they cross if you have the opportunity. And if you haven't had the opportunity to say goodbye to your loved ones, you can say out loud, all right, just send me this signal or send me this sign. For example, let's say dad passed away, all right? And dad loved to smoke his cigars or his cigarettes or whatever. You might get the psychic sense of the aroma or the fragrance of that perfume that mom wore or whatever it is, but you'll get the psychic sense of scent or clairalience as we call it. But there is a psychic way to interpret your loved ones and the signals that they're sending. So I guess I should tap on something here a little bit too, because sometimes a loved one, let's say for instance, I had a client in my office once that said, hey, Ma, and I actually talk about this in my book called Wisdom Nuggets from Heaven. And you can actually probably click the link right here, but to check it out. But I want you to know that there is a relationship with each soul on the other side that is very unique to you in particular. So let's say mom comes through for your sister, but mom comes through for you in a very maybe she loved flowers, and that's what you guys did together, was gardening and shopping and going out to eat and all those fun things, right? But maybe your mom will come through to your sister with different signs and signals. Maybe animals might be the way, or horses might be the way that your loved one will come through to a sibling. So these are just an examples that I wanted you to kind of understand that loved ones will come through in the way they're uniquely connected to our personal relationship with them. So you just have to be open to those signs and symbols. That way you're not comparing like, well, why is she getting the signs and symbols and I'm not? Or why is he getting the names of the streets as dad's name? Or every time you go to the supermarket, like you see something with mom's name on it. All right. So there is a difference of how the souls are connected to you, but you would just have to be open. And for another example, I had a client, he wanted to know why his brother, who died in, serving the United States government or military, however you want to say it. So thank you for your service. But basically, he was coming through, and he was coming through kind of like batter up, like very sports connected with the man I was connecting, or the man that was in my office. But when he was connecting to his other family members, it was like a completely different story. And so every time this person, my client, was in the, like every time we were talking about this, his brother would always come through in the sense of sports. And he kept bringing up like the Indians or the Guardians name change, and how he was just adamantly, no. Well, here ended up being that that's what him and his brother would always do when he came back, is they'd always go to the Indians game or the Guardians games here in Ohio. That's what we call the Cleveland Indians or Cleveland Guardians now. I don't agree with that name change, but tomato, tomato. So here's what I want you to know is that just because your loved one might be coming through differently for someone else does not mean that they're not coming through for you. You've just got to see the symbols and how you correlated that relationship with them. So it'll be unique, it'll be personal, and they're going to figure out ways that you communicate. So at first, after their passing, they're going to send you little subtle things to see how open you really are to receiving their symbols and their messages. And sometimes it might take them a little bit of time. So you just have to be very patient. And the other thing is they want your attention. They want to grab your attention. So if there's something big going on in your life or something is about to happen that's very big in your life, your loved ones know your blueprint, your soul contract, or your soul calendar, if you want to call it that. And they're going to know what's coming up for you. So they're just kind of letting you know, like, ahead of time, like, hey, I'm here for the baby, or I'm here for, this wedding, or I'm here for this graduation, or this job promotion, or I'm here for that divorce, or I'm here for the death of this loved one. You'll start to notice, if you pay attention, all the subtle signs and symbols that they do send your way. Just make sure you're open to receiving the signals, and just know that they're watching over you. And a few ways that you might be able to recognize that they're sending you signs are through animals, through numbers, through songs, through dreams. What else? You'll hear them, you'll sense them, different symbols like a cross, or let's say a paintbrush was a symbol that came through for a client of mine. I said, your mom keeps showing me a paintbrush. And she goes, my mom painted all the time. And I was like, well, it's time for you to pick up where she left off. And it was just a really cool and beautiful reading. And it was a beautiful experience, and very great validation for my client. So if you're wondering how to receive the signals from your loved ones, or how to communicate with them, just open yourself up and ask them to send you something that's small that you are going to really take notice of, because they want to get your attention. They want you to know that they're around and watching over you. I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, if you are having dreams because you're like a very visual person, and you feel like you're not remembering your dreams, ask your loved ones to come through in a dream visitation that you'll remember. And if you've ever had a dream that was kind of scary, or you woke up like, oh my gosh, that was a scary dream, a lot of times it's your loved ones trying to give you a heads up. Maybe it might be you need to pay attention to what the overall genre of, or the underlying issue was from that dream. So for instance, I had a dream that I was in a jail recently, and I had to talk to all these people, and I was like, why am I in jail? What did I do? Did I accidentally hurt somebody? Like, automatically I went into this negative mindset. But then I realized, you know what, there's got to be something different. Maybe I feel trapped in a situation. Maybe I'm feeling like I can't open up for some reason. And here it was that I ended up doing a reading for a person that was incarcerated. And it was a really unique experience for me as a medium, because I was able to bring through healing to someone who really needed it, who was in the wall. So it was just my loved ones trying to show me that, hey, this is something you're going to experience. And it was the first time I'd ever done a reading from a federal prison. And it was a very beautiful and healing experience. So just because a dream could be scary, just don't take it at that face value. Think of what it could be internally that your loved ones are trying to give you some insight about. So if you have any more questions, or you're looking to find more answers, I highly suggest you read my book, Wisdom Nuggets from Heaven. There are several personal stories that people share with the ways that they felt and sensed their loved ones with signs and symbols. And maybe that'll catch your interest as well. And I just look forward to maybe having a connection with you privately someday, where you receive a reading and I get to bring your loved ones through. But on that note, remember to breathe, believe, and be the light in your universe. Please make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And I go live every Saturday for free readings. So I hope to see you there. Take care.